Now, I want you guys to understand what escalation means. Forgiveness is escalation. It's just like you being in a relationship with somebody who keep messing up, right? Even though you have decided to forgive them and you're not ready to leave the marriage or leave the relationship, you know every time they do something, it's still escalating to a point of no return, which means every time they mess up, it's going to get to a point where this mess up was the last mess up. And they have escalated to a point of no return. And now you're packing your bags and walking out the door. Like, I forgave you, but I ain't forgivable. Like, I forgave you. Therefore, I'm still in the relationship with you. But don't act like all of those previous mess ups ain't still count against you. Your next one could still be my last straw. That's what your body is saying. Like, yeah, I'm going to keep forgiving you for you eating all this mess, drinking all this mess, smoking all this mess. I'm going to keep forgiving you for your laziness. I'm going to keep forgiving you for your sedentary lifestyle. But don't think that you are not getting closer and closer to a point of no return.
Optimal health is not a privilege, it's a right. However, unfortunately, the overwhelming majority of health challenges today can be attributed to lifestyle. This includes our physical activity, the quality of our relationships, stress, purpose and fulfillment, and of course, our diet. But what if there was an alternative? What if we could prevent and combat these health challenges with lifestyle changes before pills and procedures? You are listening to the Plant Protocol podcast with yours truly, plant-based health and business coach, and now the forever voice in your head, Lisa A. Smith. It's time to come get this health.
I'm starting off on my best behavior, and I want to talk about gratitude and what being overweight did for me. It's so great to see you all. I'm so happy to see you. Thank you so much for being here back. For the month of November, I'm talking all about beliefs and the things that are kind of keeping us stuck in our health goals. And so I want to make sure as we prepare for the Plant Protocol 30-day vegan, salt, oil, and sugar-free challenge that's kicking off on January 1, I want to make sure that we are all in line about what we need to believe in order to be successful. And so today's topic, why I was so grateful for being overweight, I think it's going to resonate with a lot of you. So I'm really excited to talk about it. I think today's topic, expressing gratitude for sickness and being unwell, is going to be kind of a huge eye opener for a lot of you because it was for me as well. So for those of you who don't know, I used to be overweight. Okay. Now I be flexing on y'all now. I ain't gonna hold you. All right. I be flexing on y'all now, but there was a time where I was not flexing. Okay. There was a time where I was overweight, probably considered obese. And so let me give you guys some context for today's conversation. So before, I was a full-time entrepreneur running a coaching company where I'm now doing health coaching and business coaching and personal development. Before I was even an entrepreneur, when I was still working a 9-to-5, before I was a whole food plant-based vegan, y'all, I was working a 9-to-5 as a social worker and I was overweight. Now, I was not overweight my entire life. Okay. I was actually really thin throughout high school. I went to Cass Tech in Detroit. Shout out to the technicians. And I was really, really thin in high school. However, when I went off to college, I did my first year at Central Michigan University in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Then I went on and transferred to U of M, to the University of Michigan, where I subsequently graduated. And I was overweight when I got in college. But during my high school years, and probably even the first year of high school or college or so, I was still pretty thin. And so it's important to note that I had an experience of my life where I was actually at a healthy weight. And then I graduated to a place in my life where I was overweight. So I gained weight when I got in college, right? And when I got in college, I gained weight. And I started, I've probably got up to, so I'm 5'8", just so you guys know. And when I started on my weight loss journey in 2012, I was like 190 pounds. And I was not happy in my body. I was not happy at that weight. I was insecure about what I looked like. I was insecure about my weight at that weight. And I was working out in the gym and I definitely was trying to control what I was eating, but I wasn't educated on nutrition. I wasn't educated on exercise science. And so I was just doing what I knew to be true, which is for most of us, just like, let me go to the gym, let me get some workouts in, let me try not to eat so much fast food. I was in college. I was trying to figure it out, make it work or whatever. So when I graduated from college and I got my first real world job as a social worker for the state of Michigan, I went into the state of Michigan Department of Human Services overweight. Okay. And being overweight, again, I would walk past a mirror. I was insecure in my body. I had love handles and I was the queen of cover up, honey. I would wear blazers and I would wear like jackets and sweaters. Like, you got to make it kind of cute, but I was layering up. Like, there's no way I would have been in what y'all see me in now, right? There's no way. Like, I was like, no, that's not for me, right? So I was very much overweight and insecure. And so working at the state of Michigan as a foster care worker, that is where I met my first personal trainer. And my first personal trainer, she's the one who started me on my weight loss journey. And I eventually lost about 65 pounds. Okay. Now I'm telling you guys this story to lay the foundation of gratitude and forgiveness that we're going to talk about today. But I eventually lost 65 pounds. And it has completely changed my life because when I kicked off my weight loss journey in 2012, that's what subsequently led me to entrepreneurship. That's what led me to running a whole health coaching company and business coaching company. That's what completely led me to being a whole food plant-based vegan. That's what led me to create curriculums about nutrition and exercise science. That's what led me to living a life of radical obedience. So my weight loss was the domino that knocked all of the other dominoes down. It's like when I got healthy from the neck down and started feeling confident, I always say in my bio, I lost 65 pounds and gained a ton of confidence. And I know for you guys who have experienced that, you know exactly what I mean. Like it really changes when you're happy in your body and you love the skin that you're in. So let's talk about today why, though, I'm so grateful for having been overweight. And I'm so happy that I wasn't overweight my entire life. So I know what it was like to gain weight and to have a memory of I remember when I wasn't this size. And now that I see myself in this size, I'm not happy with it. And I want to do something about it. And so that was my story. And so I want to talk about gratitude today. And I'm going to say something, and I don't want y'all to get in y'all feelings about it. Okay. So that is a warning. I'm about to say something and I don't want you guys to get in your feelings about it, but I have to say it. And I was trying to think of a better way to say it and I can't come up with a better way of saying it. So this is how I'm going to say it. If you are overweight, if you are on medications for a condition, if you're battling a health challenge that your lifestyle can fix and you're not doing anything significant about it, you might be ungrateful. I'm going to say that again real slow. Listen to me, guys. If you are waking up every day and you still tired, no matter how much sleep you got, chronic fatigue, if every time you eat something, your stomach hurts, but you just keep on eating that mess. If every time you eat something, you break out or you notice that month, your period is way more strong and the cramps are harder every time you eat that dairy or every time you eat that sugar, but you won't stop eating the dairy and sugar. If you know that exercise will make the difference in your weight, but you're not exercising, if you know that you should be getting better sleep, if you know lifestyle can make a significant difference in your health and you're not doing anything about it, you might be ungrateful. Let me explain. See, a lot of us, we have, gratitude has become this really sexy word in the last couple of years. And we have gratitude journals now, and we brag about being in a state of gratitude. And we talk about the importance of having gratitude. And we like to be like, I wake up every day and I say 10 things I'm grateful for. Let me tell you something. If one of those 10 things is not, I'm so grateful today for my diabetes. I'm so grateful for today for my high blood pressure. When you are writing out all the things you're grateful for every day, if you are unwell and you are not thanking God for your sickness or your health challenge, then you might be ungrateful. What? Whatever does she mean? Now, let me tell y'all something. I got some tea today, but y'all know these Contiga cups, they are gifting and a curse. So I had to take the lid off so I could sip my tea while I give y'all the tea today. All right. Now, y'all know I sometimes get sassy. I be having an attitude problem. So I'm going to let my tea control the pace of our conversation today. All right. I got a little mint tea in here, a little black tea in here. We're going to have a good time because I'm going to say some things that may trigger you a little bit. You may be ungrateful if you have health challenges, skin issues, mental and emotional health challenges that you know your lifestyle can do something about. Like, you know, every time you drink that alcohol, it makes your depression 10 times worse. You know, every time you eat that mess, it causes anxiety. You could feel the jitters every time you have to have your caffeine, every time you have to have your sugar. You feel the imbalance that it brings to your body, but you won't change your habits. You are ungrateful. Let me explain. Let me tell you why I'm so grateful for having been overweight, and why, if you are overweight or you have health challenges, you should be overweight too. It all comes down to forgiveness. Being overweight, having a health challenge, having high blood pressure, having high cholesterol, having flare-ups from some type of condition is your body's way of forgiving you for disobedience. Let me say it again, and let me say it slow. Every time you put on another pound, every time your blood sugar spikes, every time you have a breakout from eating mess you know you weren't supposed to be eating, right? Every time you feel stiff and achy because you're not moving like you're supposed to be moving, that is your body's way of forgiving you for disobedience. When I was in college, like, I knew I was supposed to be eating healthier. I knew I was supposed to be working out. Even after I graduated from college, like, when I was working a full-time job and taking care of myself, I live on my own, I'm making my own money. It don't take long. You might not know when you were a kid or in middle school, but you know by the time you get in high school that McDonald's is trash. I knew I wasn't supposed to be eating McDonald's. I knew I wasn't supposed to be eating Wendy's. I'm from the D, y'all. I knew I wasn't supposed to be eating at Coney Island. Detroiters know what I'm talking about. Like, we had I don't know what school y'all went to, okay? But I knew when I was living on campus at Central Michigan, like, we had a gym on campus. I knew I wasn't supposed to just walk past that gym every single day. I knew I wasn't supposed to be Netflixing and chilling every time I came home from work when I was working full time. Like, I knew better. And let me tell you why we should all be grateful for any type of sickness or imbalance that we have in our bodies and our minds that lifestyle can do something about. Is because every time you put on a pound, every time you check your blood pressure and it's up, every time you wake up tired as heck because you're not going to bed at the right time, because you eat a mess that causes you to be tired, that is your body's way of forgiving you for your disobedience. We should be grateful for the fact that every time we eat mess, every time we skip a month worth of workouts, every time we drink way too much alcohol, every time we smoke stuff that we know we're not supposed to be putting in our body, and our body don't just shut down, the fact that our body don't just shut down from all the mess that we put into it, we should be on our hands and knees every day, grateful for imbalance, grateful for obesity, grateful for high blood pressure. Because you know what's happening is your body is like, okay, like, what I want is fruits and vegetables and whole grains and nuts and seeds. What I want is fresh air and sunlight. Like, what I want is to be connected to the earth so that the earth's electromagnetic charge can pair with my electromagnetic charge. But you're not giving me that. You're not giving me nature. You're not giving me spinach and kale. You're not giving me apples and bananas. You're not giving me whole grains. You're not giving me water. Why you keep giving me all this alcohol and juice and coffee? Like, you're not giving me water. You're not giving me proper rest. But you know what? I'm not going to treat you like you treat me. I'm going to give you chance after chance after chance after chance. And you know what I'm going to do? You know how I'm going to gift you? You know how I'm going to forgive you for your disobedience? This is what your body is saying. You know how I'm going to forgive you for your disobedience? I'm just going to make your arteries narrow just a little bit. I'm not going to close them off completely. I'm going to still let the blood flow. I'm just going to require more pressure for the blood to flow. So instead of completely shutting down because of your disobedience, I'm just going to give you high blood pressure. And instead of completely shutting down for all the toxicity you keep putting into me, I'm not going to shut your kidneys completely down. I'm just going to give you stage 3, stage 4, and stage 5 kidney failure. Instead of completely shutting down, every time you keep eating, drinking, smoking mess that packs pounds on me, I'm not going to make you die right away. I'm just going to expand your cells and make room for more fat. Because gaining weight ain't nothing but the expansion of your cells, and losing weight is nothing but the constriction of your cells. So because you won't behave, because you insist on disobedience, I'm going to give you another chance. And then after that chance, I'm going to give you another one because you think the breakfast at McDonald's is so good that you got to have it every day. You think every time that commercial come on with that new triple pepperoni pizza, you think every time you smell fried chicken, it's your right to have it. You think just because you grown and it's your birthday that you supposed to have cake and ice cream and alcohol and go on vacation and skip 7 days worth of workouts. So you know what I'm going to do for you because I'm so kind? But apparently I'm the kind one in the relationship. Your body is saying, I'm going to forgive you and I'm just going to expand your hips. I'm going to forgive you and I'm just going to raise your cholesterol. I'm going to forgive you and I'm just going to give you a little touch of depression and anxiety. Like, you're supposed to be dealing with that trauma, but you keep ignoring it. You keep putting it off. You keep thinking you can just do it yourself and work through it and push through it. You think overworking to the point of exhaustion is honorable. And because you won't rest me, I'm going to just go ahead and give you chronic fatigue every day that you make a decision that's not aligned with optimal health. You should be grateful for any health challenge that you're dealing with because your body is forgiving you for your disobedience. Put that in your gratitude journal for tomorrow morning. I came on here to tell y'all, call y'all out. We ungrateful. I'm so grateful that my body was willing to forgive me by just letting me gain weight. I'm so grateful. Like, we are not meant to be 50, 60, 70, 100 pounds overweight. What? Our hearts are not built for that, like for living with that type of weight for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Like, we're not supposed to keep pouring fake food and food dyes and preservatives into our kidneys and our liver. But look, they just keep filtering out the mess. They like, okay, I'm not going to work as good. And so I'm going to give you stage 3 kidney failure, but I'm not going to completely shut down. Because if I completely shut down, that means you only got a matter of time to live. But I'm going to forgive you for your disobedience. You guys should be grateful. When you have something that you know your lifestyle can fix and you're not doing everything in your power to change your lifestyle, that, my friends, is an act of ungratefulness. You guys already know we're given one body and one mind and one lifetime. And yet we still insist on being disobedient when it comes to our health. We insist, like, that job stresses you out. You have been overwhelmed and unhappy and unfulfilled in that role for years, but you won't leave because you insist on living a life based on fear. You have been unhappy and unfulfilled in that relationship for years and that marriage for years, but you insist on staying. You insist on creating an overactive nervous system from stress. Your disobedience, you should be so grateful for having an overactive nervous system. You should be grateful for anxiety because anxiety and depression and diabetes is the thing that's saving you. Instead of your body escalating to a point, a flat line, it's giving you a disease to give you just one more chance to get it right. It's like, all right. Okay, every time I gave you a cramp right there in your back, I made your back hurt. I made your foot lock up. I made your joints swell up. That ain't enough? Okay, all right. Well, let me break this down for you before I hop off here because I don't need to be before you long because I think y'all get the point right now. But every time, like when I started gaining weight, when I got in college and then got into social work, I knew my body forgave me for disobedience because every time, I ate some mess that I wasn't supposed to eat, my body forgave me by giving me 2 extra pounds. Like every time I skipped a week or a month worth of workouts, my body forgave me by giving me 10 more pounds. Like I knew the holidays was a trap. Some of y'all sitting on the edge of y'all seat because you can't wait to fill your body with salt, oil, and sugar and cholesterol and saturated fat. Like you can't wait. Like you calling people now, like who cooking the saturated fat next week? I just want to be clear. Like I knew I wasn't supposed to be eating that mess. I knew that, I was gored. I knew when I was overeating. I knew when I was emotional eating. I knew when I thought I had to have a snack just to watch my favorite show and I wasn't snacking on celery and carrots. Like I knew it, but my body forgave me by giving me 5 more pounds. You ought to be so grateful for gaining weight. It is literally your body forgiving you for disobedience. Your cells are expanding to make room for your disobedience. So last week, I talked about 2 points on your health journey. I talked about the point of completion and I talked about the point of no return. And last week, I talked about that there were 2 points of no return. I said there was a physical point of no return and I said there was a mental point of no return. The physical point means the plaque in your arteries has calcified and hardened to a point where you will never be able to reverse that plaque, and that your arteries are always going to be clogged at a percentage, right? That's a physical point of no return. And then last week I talked about a mental point of no return, where you can get so far in being unhealthy that even though it's technically possible for you to still reverse it, you feel like you're too far gone to ever completely reverse it. And that's a mental point of no return. You give up mentally, right? Now, I want you guys to understand what escalation means. Forgiveness is escalation. It's just like you being in a relationship with somebody who keep messing up, right? Even though you have decided to forgive them and you're not ready to leave the marriage or leave the relationship, you know every time they do something, it's still escalating to a point of no return, which means every time they mess up, it's going to get to a point where this mess up was the last mess up. And they have escalated to a point of no return. And now you're packing your bags and walking out the door. I want you to understand that forgiveness from your body is the same way. Like, I'm going to keep forgiving you and allowing you to wake up and try and get it right tomorrow. But every time I have to forgive you, it is escalation. We're getting closer and closer to a point of no return. So every time I got to give you a few extra pounds because of your disobedience, every time I have to raise your blood pressure because of your disobedience, every time I have to raise your blood sugar because of your disobedience, every time I got to raise your cholesterol because of your disobedience, while you still live to see another day, we are getting closer and closer and closer to a point of no return. And so I want you guys to understand that forgiveness is escalation. See, forgiveness doesn't get you back to square one. That's what we like to believe as humans. We like to be like, well, if you forgave me, why you still punishing me? Like, I forgave you, but I ain't forgivable. Like, I forgave you, therefore I'm still in the relationship with you. But don't act like all of those previous mess ups ain't still count against you. Your next one could still be my last straw. That's what your body is saying. Like, yeah, I'm going to keep forgiving you for you eating all this mess, drinking all this mess, smoking all this mess. I'm going to keep forgiving you for your laziness. I'm going to keep forgiving you for your sedentary lifestyle. But don't think that you are not getting closer and closer to a point of no return. And this, my friends, is why I don't understand why we still debating about moderation. Everything in moderation is not a safe approach to putting something in remission. Moderation is reserved for maintenance. Moderation means I've done the work to get this weight off of me, and now I can afford to moderate some things. We moderating and we already overweight.
When I first started investing in coaching years ago, the thing I fell in love with first and foremost were the systems. I thoroughly enjoyed the feeling of security I got from being able to plug into a system. And ever since I had that coaching experience, I vowed to provide that same experience for our clients in our community here at the Plant Protocol. The Plant Protocol 30-day vegan salt, oil, and sugar-free challenge is approaching extremely fast. And for the past 3 months, we've been hosting masterclasses in preparation for that. And in December, we're going to do it again. But December's masterclass is for our VIPs and our ultra VIPs only. And on our December 18th masterclass, I'm super excited to share the system with our challengers for how to have the best success in our 30-day vegan challenge. I absolutely love the idea of not having to make all the decisions for myself. I love the idea of being able to feel confident in somebody leading me and guiding me through the process that I was investing in. Coaching and community works wonders when you are being led by people who have been there and done that. So, if you are currently registered for our next 30-day vegan salt, oil, and sugar-free challenge, and you are not a VIP, I want to invite you to move up to the front row, because this final prep masterclass that we're hosting on December 18th is for you if you want a system. You know, a 30-day challenge sounds pretty basic. It sounds like you kind of understand what you'll need to do. I'll need to stop eating animal products. I'll need to monitor all the other things, the salt, the oil, the sugar. But I promise you, there's still a system. And I looked at the results from our last challenge, and I put together a framework that I believe will assist you in achieving your health goals and will surpass probably what you even imagined was possible. So listen, if you're interested in being in this VIP only masterclass for our 30-day salt, oil, and sugar-free vegan challenge, then I want you to click the link in the show notes and get upgraded and move up to the front row. I promise you, there's nothing like a system. It surpasses DIY every single time. I'll see you in the front.
So let me make sure you guys understand what I'm saying, okay? God is the only one who has unlimited capacity for our foolishness. Our body ain't got that type of capacity. It's getting sick of us, sick and tired and sick. God is the only person I've ever met who has the capacity for our unlimited foolishness. So yeah, you maybe have been overweight 10 years. You may have been hypertensive for 20 years. You may have been dealing with chronic fatigue, depression, anxiety, all the stuff, reproductive health challenges, gut issues. You may have been dealing with that for years, and you may think you may be delusional. Me and my friend, we was kicking it this weekend. And shout out to one of my Instagram followers who posted a meme recently who said, Delulu is the Salulu, baby. Delulu is the Salulu. You've been battling with this weight. You've been dealing with this unhealthy relationship with sugar addiction, potato chip addiction, your caffeine addiction. You've been dealing with it for so long that you are delusional enough to believe that you can keep going for another 10, 15, 20 years instead of actually getting radical and doing something about it. The Lulu is the Salulu, baby. You've been dealing with it for so long. You've watched people live a long time with diabetes. So you like, well, I ain't going to die from diabetes as long as I take my insulin and watch my carbs. I can live with diabetes. So I ain't got to be radical. The Lulu is the Salulu. Like, I don't know why do we think we can continue to pour junk into our body, continue to make unhealthy decisions in our career, unhealthy decisions in our relationships, unhealthy decisions in our personal development, and we just gonna keep getting all this forgiveness. You are ungrateful if you are not thanking your body every day for the imbalance that it's giving you as a gift for your disobedience. God is the only one who has unlimited capacity for our foolishness. Every day that you make a decision that is not in line with getting you to a 12 out of 10 and getting you to the most optimal place in your health, physically, mentally, and emotionally, you are being disobedient. And to think that your body will continue to forgive you, like disease is forgiveness. I need you to see disease as forgiveness. Disease is your body forgiving you for making all these unhealthy choices and decisions for years. So instead of you just dropping dead, instead of it just stopping your heart immediately, it forgives you with a disease. You ought to be so grateful. You ought to be so. Meanwhile, I got a gratitude journal. As soon as you open your eyes, you should recite 5 things you're grateful for. You better make chronic fatigue one of those things. God, thank you for making me so tired because I won't stop eating sugar. And so you just make it so that my blood turns into sludge and makes it harder for my blood to flow. And then you just make me tired instead of just stopping my heart every time I eat a sleeve of cookies. Thank you. I'm so grateful for chronic fatigue. I'm so grateful for indigestion. I'm so grateful for acid reflux because I know red stuff messed me up, but I can't control myself. I have lost control. So thank you. Thank you for giving me stomach issues. Thank you for that. You should be grateful. You should be grateful because you're so disobedient. So you got 2 options. You really only got 2 options. You could either just lean into gratitude and don't change nothing and just but you better be super grateful. And don't be complaining. Don't complain to the rest of us about how unwell you feel. Don't complain about them headaches. Don't nobody care about your daily headache. You ain't doing nothing about it. Your lifestyle can fix that. So just be grateful for the migraines. Be grateful that your whole brain ain't shut down. Just be grateful, right? So that's option number 1. Just be grateful and don't complain about nothing. Just live with your health challenges. Just be overweight. Just be on medications. Just be stressed out. Just be overwhelmed. Just be grateful. Be grateful for it because it's just payment for disobedience. Or you can get radical and do something about it. You can stop believing that moderation is safe. Moderation ain't worked for you yet. It ain't going to all of a sudden start on January 1st, 2025. You can make some firm decisions. You can start making decisions. You want to know what moderation is? I don't know how I manage to talk about moderation every week, but triggered. You know what moderation is? Moderation is the inability to make a decision. Now, we can play around with wordplay here. We could do inability. I could say unwillingness, whatever you want to call it. Whatever. The shoe fits, put it on, lace it up, tighten it up, run with it. Moderation is our inability or our unwillingness to make a decision. How you gonna moderate sugar and potato chips and pop and fast food and you already sick on medications and unwell? Like, don't give me this foolishness. Everything in moderation is reserved for those who are unwilling to make a decision. Unwilling to make a decision. So I told you we ought to be grateful if we are unwell because we're being forgiven for our disobedience. Okay. I told you that God is the only one that has unlimited capacity for our foolishness, which means our bodies don't have unlimited capacity for our foolishness. So your cells is only going to expand so much before you die from obesity. You can die from obesity. Like when you gain weight, you don't get extra fat cells. The ones you have expand. And when you lose weight, so like when I lost 65 pounds, it means my fat cells constricted. Okay. So I want y'all to understand, like your cells don't have unlimited capacity. They don't. They were created by God. They are not God. At some point, you're going to get to a point where you have been disobedient too long and now things are going to escalate. You can die from having visceral fat around your arteries. You can die from clogged arteries. Like high blood pressure can escalate to a fatal heart attack. It can escalate to a fatal stroke. Like you can eat so much sugar. Your blood sugar can be so erratic that it can escalate to something for which there is no cure for. Erratic blood sugar can escalate to Alzheimer's. Yep, it can. All of this fake food dyes, coloring, all of this stress, all of this unhappiness, the lack of peace in your life, that can escalate to cancer. There's some things for which there is no cure. And that, my friend, means you have got to a point of no return. But nothing starts at a stage 5. Y'all know that, right? Like they ain't changed the numbers yet. Now I know there's some brilliant physicists and mathematicians and scientists out here. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe you still have to go through stage 1, 2, 3, and 4 before you get to stage 5. Stage 5 is proof of escalation. It's proof of disobedience. Stage 1 was a warning. Stage 2 was like, I done said it once, don't make me say it again. Do you get what I'm like? Everything can escalate. Everything can escalate. Stage 5 is escalation at its peak. It's disobedience at its peak. But there's a time when you can be disobedient and we can stop ourselves in our tracks and we can do something about it. I want y'all to understand that. Like you can stress yourself out to a point of fatality. Like you can be so overwhelmed. You can be so anxious. You can have so much angst. All right, I'm about to hop off. Because I just don't think y'all understand. Like we got 970 some people signed up for our 30-day vegan salt, oil, and sugar-free challenge starting January. Now we're going to have well over 1,000 people in this challenge. Okay. We about 30 something away from 1,000. And I already know because numbers be numbering and I've been in business 10 years. We're not going to have over 1,000 people show up. So you know what the registration numbers tell me? The registration numbers only tell me how many people know they got to do something different. That's what my registration numbers tell me. But it's the show up numbers that tell me how many people know that are willing to do something different. Like registration just means I need to quit playing. But then when Wednesday, January 1st, 2025 gets here and I hold our first class in the challenge, I know for a fact I'm not going to have over 1,000 people on. I know. I will pray to God that everybody that signed up will show up, but that's not what happens. It's not what happens. You want to know why? Because they don't understand the risk. They don't understand the relationship between forgiveness and disobedience and escalation. And I hope that you guys that are listening today, I hope that you get it. I hope if you're anything less than the best version of yourself, that you get it. I hope you get it. Like what you're seeing and hearing from me right now is only evidence of obedience. I lost the weight so that I could get rid of the insecurity that would have prevented me from being on camera. Now, I don't flex often, but I know my voice, my speaking, the way I teach is a gift. I know it. Imagine me not re-gifting this to y'all because I was sitting here overweight and too ashamed and insecure to turn the camera and turn the mic on. Imagine that. Imagine how many of us are being robbed right now from something that you've been called to do because you are too unwell to do it. I've had students in our Farm to Table program who say, I know I'm supposed to be working on this thing. I know I'm supposed to be creating this thing, but Lisa, I'm just too tired when I get home from work. And they're battling a sugar addiction. Sugar causes you to be exhausted. But because they are disobedient, they're too tired to show up for their 5 to 9 after their 9 to 5. I need y'all to get what I'm saying. Stop playing with me trying to act like I'm extreme, trying to act like I'm ridiculous, trying to act like I'm crazy for saying everything in moderation is a crazy approach to putting something in remission. Stop acting like a 30-day vegan, no salt, no oil, no sugar challenge is doing too much. You've been doing too much for 10 years. I'm just trying to do a little more. I'm just trying to match your do too much energy. Doing too much is what got you overweight. Doing too much is what got you tired all the time. Doing too much is why you hurting. You've been doing too much. Now here I come trying to do too much in the other direction, and I'm the problem. Whatever. I ain't about to argue with y'all. Okay, listen. 'Tis the season to eat like you got some sense. And so as we come up on Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, I want to encourage you guys to eat like you got some sense. I want everyone who's listening, who's not registered for the Plant Protocol 30-Day Vegan Challenge, to register. And let me give you some lay of the land for the challenge, just so you guys know. Some FAQs, okay, as we hop off. Number one, the challenge is free. However, we do have a VIP option, okay? I said option, okay? So for VIPs, we have VIP and we have Ultra VIP, okay? So VIP gets you in the Zoom room during the challenge. Now, for anybody who's never been a part of our 30-Day Vegan Challenge, here's what you need to know. What you see here on my lives on Monday morning, goes up like 100-fold during the challenge. I'm on fire in the Zoom room. I'll talk my talk. I teach y'all stuff. We give frameworks. I break it down. We going over how to read food labels. We going over how to cook with no oil. We're going over what's really wrong with meat. I'm teaching y'all everything you need to know. I do not hold back. You have access to everything I got in my mind. I give it up and give it out for the challenge. So I need you guys to prioritize, not just registering for the challenge. I used to be impressed with registration. I'm no longer impressed with registration. I need you guys to show up. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to be live with me in the classroom, in the Zoom room for our VIPs. You'll be live on YouTube for our general admission every Wednesday evening and Saturday morning for the entire month of January. So you will be live with me for our VIPs. You will come on early and you will have a private VIP Q&A where you can ask me and my team anything. We'll have me and all of my certified coaches, plant-based coaches will be on me, Coach Tiff, Coach Milan, Coach Kiwi will be in the building with us. And we run the challenge like it's a well-oiled machine. It's a ship. We don't hold back. At the end of our challenges, people be like, I lost weight. I haven't had sugar or caffeine in 30. I can't believe it. We done got off of medications. The results is crazy. And so I need that for you guys. And so I need you to prioritize Wednesday evening, Saturday morning for the entire month of January, January 1st to January 31st. Now, lean in. If you're going to upgrade to VIP, you'll be in the Zoom room. You'll have a VIP Q&A. You'll get replays to all our prep master classes and all the live class replays as well. Okay. And if you're Ultra VIP, you will get a private one-on-one coaching session with me. And you'll also come to a 2-day chronic stress workshop in December that I'm going to teach. December 27th and 28th. I'm teaching a 2-day chronic stress workshop where I help you build out your exit strategy. Okay. So VIP right now is $77. Ultra VIP is $247. And both of those prices are going up on December 1st. All right. So that's the gist with the challenge. Now, you do not have to pay anything. I'm happy to be in service to you for free. I'm happy to be in service for free because this is radical obedience for me. So when I'm in service to you, I'm really being in service to God. So I want to be clear about that. Okay. So you're still going to get, all the live classes, all the information. You'll still get the protocol. You'll still get the recipe book if you're general admission. But you do get perks if you want to move up to the front row, because I know some people are like me and we prefer front row experience and we prefer some extra perks. But those of you who don't have it or don't want to pay it, it's okay. You still would get results as a general admission. Okay. And that's okay. And we love on you just as much. So register for the challenge, lisangelsmith.com/challenge. We start January 1st. I got one more thing. I have one more gift for you guys. A lot of you guys have already started signing up. I told you guys last week that my gift to you guys for the holidays, okay, because our gifts are meant to be regifted. So I told you guys last week, those of you guys that have podcasts, those of you guys that have platforms, those of you guys that have an audience that you help speak and teach to and you're in service to all the time. If you want me to come on your podcast, if you want me to come on your virtual stage and you want to be in conversation with me about health, about plant-based living, about chronic stress, about radical obedience, about living a life on purpose, then just shoot me a DM and let's talk about it. And this doesn't cost you. I'm doing this for free. I'm gifting my gift to you guys for the holiday season. So far, I had about 4 or 5 of you guys reach out to me. And so I'm booking up now. The only caveat is 2 things. Okay. So I'm willing to come speak and teach for you guys as just a gift from me to you for the month of December. This offer is for the month of December. Like I said, you want me on your podcast, you want me on your platform, whatever it is. If you try and help your audience with stress and you want to bring somebody you want to talk about it, if you try and help your audience with eating right, whatever it is, I'm happy to teach. Now, here's the caveat. If you sell something and I don't align, my values don't align with what you sell, I will politely turn you down. So I'm not going to compromise my values and what I believe in to teach or for you to take this offer. So if our value systems don't align or like you promote, I don't know, some supplement that I don't believe in or something like some craziness, some foolishness, then I won't be there. Okay. So let's message me. Tell me what your situation is. Tell me what your platform is. Share a link to your podcast, whatever it is. I don't care if you got 1 follower or 10,000. I just want to come on and we can get this information out as much as possible. But the offer is only for the month of December. So the first exception is that whatever, is that if our values don't align. Right. If I go on your page and it's foolishness, because when I come speak on your platform, my people going to come listen and I'm sending my people into no foolishness. OK, so if you got foolishness on your page and whatever, then don't invite me. I believe in God. So I talk about God. If you don't like to talk about God on your platform, don't invite me. And then also the other exception, of course, is just a logistical one, which is if the date is unavailable. Like, so if you like, I only do my show every 4th Friday and that's already booked, then I can't come. Like we arguing back and forth. I'm not going to stress myself out. Okay. So I'm willing to open my books up for you guys to speak and to teach. So if the day is available and if you don't sell or promote no foolishness, then I'm coming. Okay. For the month of December. So I got to do somebody's. Shout out to Dr. Sabrina. She reached out to me and took me up on the offer. So I'm going to be on her show next Monday. And then one of my clients asked me to come go live for her on her page. So shout out to Coach Regina. I'm going to be on her page. She specializes in heart disease for Black women. And then there was 2 more. I can't even remember. But you guys are really, you guys are taking advantage of this. So I appreciate it. So I'll go live with you on IG. I'll come on your podcast, come on your platform, whatever it is. And we can get into conversation about this health stuff because people need help. We're coming up on January. A lot of people are going to have health goals. So if you want a subject matter expert to talk about this stuff, I'm happy to be of service to you guys as long as I'm available. So meet me back here same time next week with a brand new hot cuppa. See you guys then. Have a phenomenal day. See y'all in the challenge. Bye, y'all.
You tuned in today because, like me, you refuse to let your good become the enemy of your great. You're not settling for good health when optimal is well within reach. If you're ready to go from good to great, visit lisaangelsmith.com to learn more about our plant-based health coaching program, Farm to Table, and our plant-based business accelerator and coaching certification. But before you go, if you enjoyed what you heard today, please consider rating and reviewing this podcast. Until next time, remember, radical obedience is still undefeated. Stay obedient.